Wait! Before we start, do you want a bundle of 30 printable English PDF cheat sheets? Teaching you words and phrases for conversations for free? Then click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get access. Hi everybody, and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alisha, and this week we are going to talk about how to talk about what you're working on. This is a very useful lesson. You will learn some things you can use at school and at work and even at home, I suppose, too. Today we're going to practice 3 grammar points that I know are very challenging and very confusing to many learners. So today we're going to talk about when we use each grammar point, how to put the grammar points together with other phrases, and when you should use them. So as you join, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video because it helps us to reach other learners and other people who can benefit from this lesson. Make sure you send a message in the live chat. Also, I will try to check live in just a second and say hello to everybody. While we wait for everyone to join us live, I want to mention this banner at the bottom of the screen that says download your free 2,000-word ebook. The team has created a free PDF ebook that has the 2,000 core words of English. The core words of English are the 2,000, in this case, most commonly used words for everyday communication. So if you want to make sure you study the most important words first, check out this free PDF ebook at EnglishClass101.com. You just need your name and an email address to make a free account if you do not have an account. And then you can come back to this page and download this free ebook. You can find all the details from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. So check it out and enjoy. I hope that helps with your vocabulary and learning good words quickly. Okay, looks like everything is rolling. Facebook, I don't see any comments on Facebook yet. What's up, anybody watching? Some people are watching on Facebook, but there's no comments. What's up? YouTube, what's up? Hello, Jacob, Itachi, Jamila, I hope I said your name correctly, Nihala, Shehab, Pablo, what's up, everybody? Cool. Let's begin because we have a lot to cover today. Get your notebook ready. We're going to talk about some grammar. Let's begin. First grammar point today is present progressive. The other name for this grammar point is present continuous. They are the same, don't worry. So when should we use present progressive and what is the pattern? Let's begin with the pattern for this grammar point. First, we have in this section our subject. So the beginning of our sentence pattern for the day, will be this part. This is our subject part, where we choose I as the subject, we choose you, we, or they, or we choose she, he, and it. So we need to think about which subject to use because we have to use the correct verb with the subject. So that means if your subject is I, use the verb am. I am. You, we, or they are. And she, he, it is. Okay? A little review here. Next, we use, to make it negative, not in the following position. And we end with a verb in the ing form. Okay? So I am verb-ing, or I am not verbing, or you are not verbing, or he is verbing. Okay? So we will use this grammar pattern today. Next, what does this express? Let's go to the second slide I have. When we use present progressive, we express that something happening at the present, happening now, this star means now, watching this video. That means something is happening now. So this line means it's continuing now. The action is happening now. So, for example, I am teaching. You are watching. You are listening. Something like that, right? Happening now in the moment. Okay? This is important. So let's take a look at some examples. Let's break down these examples and send me your examples in the chat. I will check them live. Okay, so let's see. First one, I am working on my website. I am working on my website. Here is my subject, in this case, I. My verb is am to match the subject, I. Next is the verb in the ing form, working. And in this case, I have my extra information at the end of the sentence. I am working on something, right? So if you want to use this pattern, make sure to use the preposition on. I am working on blah, blah, blah. You can change my website to your project, okay? Also, to make this more natural, we usually say I'm working on my website. So reduce or contract those when possible to sound natural. Marshall on Facebook wrote, I'm actively listening to the live stream. We love that. Great. Okay, let's go to the second example, and then I'll come to more chat points. What does XP mean in the YouTube chat today? I've never seen that before. He is learning how to code. He is learning how to code. Here is my subject, he. We match the he subject with the verb is, yeah? Next is our verb, learning. Learning. He is learning, in this case, how to code. Note, for this pattern, we use this how to plus the base form of the verb. If you want to use this pattern, you can use he or subject is learning how to any verb you want. Like, I am learning how to cook, or she is learning how to ride a bicycle. It's a very easy pattern to use, right? Learning how to blah, blah, blah. Pick your verb. Some examples are coming in. Shehab wrote, I'm watching the live English course. Nice, perfect. Others, Inazuma wrote, I'm listening to this live stream. I'm listening to this live stream, not in. That's perfect then. Okay, next, she is studying for an exam. She is studying for an exam. Our subject is she. We match it to the verb is, and then we have verb in the ing form, studying. She is studying. When you want to talk about the topic of your studies, we use for. She is studying for blah, 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 for an exam. If you're a student, you can say, I'm studying for a test. I'm studying for an exam. I'm studying for a certification, right? I'm studying for my final presentation, right? So use the preposition for in this pattern. Note, these prepositions are different. On, for, in this case, how to, yeah? These little words make a big difference. Oh, some other examples are coming. Patient wrote, Ali is learning how to drive a car, okay? Mino wrote, I'm having breakfast while I'm watching you. Oh, okay, nice one. Is that true? Nice. I hope you enjoy your breakfast. All right, continuing. Last one. Let's look at, last two. Let's look at some negative examples now. We aren't working at the office right now. We aren't working at the office right now. So do you remember this page I showed you earlier where I said this means a continuing action? In the negative form, like this sentence, we aren't working at the office right now. It means this action is not happening at this time. So we use this for something that's maybe a regular action or an expected action that is not happening. So we're not working at the office right now. Maybe instead, we're working at the cafe. The sentence grammar is exactly the same. We have our subject here, we. We have aren't. Oh, something weird happened there. So our subject is we, and then aren't is the contracted form are not here. So aren't is how we say it in everyday natural speech. And then the same pattern follows. Working, in this case, a location, at the office right now. We aren't working at the office right now. Okay, last one. They aren't returning our calls. They aren't returning our calls. Oh no. So subject, they, again, aren't, are not, because our subject is they. In this case, our verb is return, ing. What are they not returning? Our calls. Let me check your examples and then we'll continue to the next part. Mary Esther wrote, they are reading those old books. Nice. Inazuma, he's studying for a, do you mean big quiz? Bug quiz is different. Let's see, sorry, your name ends in Christina. I'm working on my presentation. Nice. Paloma, hey Paloma, I'm working on my presentation. Perfect, great job. Others on Facebook, there's one. Gabino wrote, she is walking in the park. Use the preposition in. She's walking in the park. Inazuma, your negative sentence, he isn't studying for his big quiz right now. Yes, that's correct. He isn't studying for his big quiz. Tudo ke anima wrote, I'm having a great class. Good. Let's continue then. Nice job, everybody. Let's end part 1 with making questions. How do we make questions with this grammar? To do this, we can make a question that begins with a WH question. Who, what, where, when, why, right? So we can start with that to make an information question, or we can start with this, are, is, or am. Starting here makes a yes or no question, are, is, or am. Okay? Finally, we add the subject plus the verb in the ing form. What does this pattern look like? So, what are you doing? Very simple, right? What are you doing? Let's see how the grammar fits this pattern. Here is my WH question. Here is my verb to match. Here is my subject, you, and doing is my verb in the ing form. What are you doing? At native speed, what are you doing? What are you doing? Last one here. Where are they going for lunch? Where are they going for lunch? Again, we have our WH question. We have are in the next position, they as our subject, and our verb going. Where are they going for lunch? Okay, let's see. Other points, points that are about the lesson. Okay, let's continue on to the next, the next part. Real quick, point 1, our grammar point 1 looks good, everybody. Let's go on to point 2 now. Really quickly, if you missed it before, the team has a free PDF ebook for you. Don't miss it. This has the 2,000 core words of English in it. The core words of English are the most important words for everyday communication. So important to know them. So if you don't have this free ebook, go download it from EnglishClass101.com, yeah? Super, super good. Learn the most important words first. I think that's a really good idea. Okay, let's go to part 2, present perfect. Present perfect, I know many people struggle with this, so let's practice it. Don't be afraid of present perfect. Present perfect is your friend, okay? So, present perfect. Oh, also, if you haven't, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video, yeah, so other people can find today's lesson. Okay, let's continue. Present perfect tense. Present perfect, here is the pattern, and then I will explain when we use it. To refresh you then, we have our subject. We must choose the subject and match it to have or has, right? So I, you, we, they, have. He, she, it, has, right? And then we add not to make it negative and the past participle verb form. That's a lot, right? When do we use present perfect? Let's take a look at the second page. So we use present perfect in a couple different situations. First is for something that started in the past, back here, and that continues to the present. Okay, something that started in the past and continued to the present. Or we can use it for something that happened in the past and when it happened is not important. Okay, so for example, I have lived in another country. When? It's not important. I just want to express my life experience, yeah? Or I have eaten sushi before. When is not important. I just express my life experience, okay? So let's go back to the first part and take a look at our example sentences now. So how do we use these to express what we are working on? Here are some examples. I've finished my to-do list for today. I've finished my to-do list for today, okay? So here, right here, oh, where's my marker? Okay, I've, right here, this I've is I plus have. I have is reduced to I've. I've finished. This is my my past participle verb. I've finished, right? I have finished means I started it before, and now, by this time, at the present, it is done, okay? Or we could understand it as I did it sometime before today, okay? I've finished my to-do list for today. Yes, it's true. You could say, I finished my to-do list. That sounds like it's a report. It was finished a while ago. If you use I've finished, it sounds a little more recent. It sounds like you were working on it for a while today, and now you are done. So both are correct. I finished and I've finished. Okay, let's continue. Sentence 2. He hasn't finished the proposal. Negative, yeah? He hasn't finished the proposal. So subject is he. Here we have hasn't. This is the reduced form, has not. He hasn't. So contract not to nt. He hasn't. Here is our past participle verb. He hasn't finished the proposal, right? You can use this one for something you started working on, continued working on, but it's not done yet, okay? He hasn't finished the proposal, or I haven't finished the proposal. It sounds like you started it, it's in progress, but not ready yet. So this negative form is super helpful. This is a great way to show your boss or to show somebody you started something, it is now in progress, you are going to finish it, but it's not ready at this moment in time. Okay, continuing. She hasn't submitted the paperwork yet. She hasn't submitted the paperwork yet. Our subject is she. We have has not again, right? She hasn't submitted. So to submit, maybe you know the verb to turn in, like to turn in homework. Submit is the professional word for this, to submit paperwork or to submit an application, yeah? The past participle form is submitted. She hasn't submitted the paperwork yet. So today I'm not going to talk a lot about yet and already, but this right here is a big hint. She's going to submit the paperwork, but she hasn't submitted the paperwork yet, right? So that means she is maybe working on it, she's going to do it, just not yet. It hasn't finished yet, okay? Last one, we haven't taken a break today. We haven't taken a break today. Here is my subject, we have here because we use the we subject. Not, again, we haven't, and past participle verb is taken. We haven't taken a break today. Ugh, we need a break, okay? So you can see these negative forms are very, very helpful in work and in school because they communicate you started something, you are working on it now, and it will be finished in the future. Okay, let's move on to questions. I don't see examples in the chat yet. Send some if you feel you want to try. Okay, making questions. How do we make questions and why do we make questions with this? We do a WH question, again, like we talked about before, plus have or has, followed by our subject, I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. And we end with the past participle verb form. So let's look at some common questions you can use here. First, what have you done today? What have you done today? Okay, this is different from what did you do today? Yeah, both are correct, but they have different meanings. What have you done today? If you ask this at lunchtime, it means what have you done or what did you do from the morning until this point? Yeah. If you ask at the end of the day, it means what did you do all day long? And because we use have instead of what did you do today, it means I expect you are continuing your work or you're continuing your studies, you're continuing your action, yeah? If you say, what did you do today? It sounds like it's finished, you're done, right? So when you meet your friend for dinner, you can say, oh, what did you do today? Because it's finished, right? That means your job, your studies, your family, whatever, yeah? That sounds natural. What did you do today is done. What have you done today means I expect you are going to continue something. So this is a question your boss or maybe your parents might ask you, or your teacher. What have you done today? Okay? It sounds like they expect you are going to do more things. Okay, next one. Where has my boss gone? Where has my boss gone? Oh my gosh. So again, we could use simple past tense here. We could say, where did my boss go? Where did my boss go? But where has my boss gone? It sounds like my boss went somewhere and maybe they are still going, or this is a continuing situation. I'm going to continue searching for my boss. I don't know where my boss is. So if you say, where did my boss go? It sounds like the boss is gone completely. Finished. They left the building, maybe. We don't know. So there's a little more wiggle room with this. But where has my boss gone uses the WH question plus has plus, in this case, my boss. So this subject is actually my boss here. And the past participle verb is gone. Okay? And finally, who has she spoken to? Who has she spoken to? WH question, has, she is our subject, and our past participle verb is spoken to. Who has she spoken to about this? Did she speak to the client? So we often use present perfect together with past perfect to ask about continuing situations and finished situations and their relationship. Okay, let's see. I don't see any examples. Well, something terrible has happened in the chat. Okay. Oh, are they down there now? Ah, great. Okay, now there's some examples. Thank you, Control Desk. Sorry if I missed you guys there. We had a little technical moment. Oh my gosh. Minnow wrote, I've finished. Maybe I would say, I know we're not talking about it today, but I've already finished my housework this morning to emphasize that something is done maybe early. That sounds good. Others, Mary Esther wrote, you've written a note. Nice one. Could we scroll down a little bit more? Thank you. Patient wrote, she hasn't studied for the exam. She hasn't studied for the exam, okay? Inazuma, I've often confused had and has. What is the difference? I have a video about that. Do a search on the YouTube channel. Search had, has. I have like 4 videos about that because it's not always the same answer. It depends on how it's used in the sentence. Sebas wrote, I have already eaten dinner. Nice. Paloma wrote, he hasn't sent the emails with all the details. Perfect. Patient wrote, where have you been today? Perfect. Facebook. Oh, there's one. Why have you done the exercise? Okay. Okay, that's grammatically correct. Others. Mary Esther, careful. Why haven't you... Which verb form? Doing the homework? You need the past participle verb form, yeah? Why haven't you done the homework? Then it's perfect. Good example. Very, very close, Mary Esther. Okay, let's continue to the end because time always goes quickly. I'll just remind you quickly, and then I'll tell you again officially at the end about this free PDF ebook. Amazing. Core words of English are the most important words. Get it now so you can study the best words right from the beginning. Okay, let's go to the last part because, oh my gosh, so much information. Present, perfect, progressive, a very long name for this grammar point. Present, perfect, progressive. Let's look at the pattern and then we will look at when we should use it. So, subject, have or has been verbing, okay? Subject has been verbing, all right? So, 2 points to notice here. 1, we have this subject have or has. This is the same as present perfect. However, we have to use been and the verb in the ing form here, okay? So this grammar point is kind of like this one, present progressive, and present perfect together. Ugh. So it's very confusing. I understand. Trust me, I understand. So let's go slowly. I also want to note, this is the grammar point we often use for and since with. I'm not going to talk a lot about for and since today because I don't have time. This is a very big lesson. If you want to know more about this grammar point, you can search the English Class 101 YouTube channel, or if you are a member of the website, thank you very much. You can search for that on our website also, so you can get my lesson and all kinds of information there. So next, let's look. When should we use this grammar point? Present perfect progressive is something we use for an action that started in the past, continues to the present, and that it feels like it's going to continue in the future also, yeah? So you can maybe see how these three grammar points are very different, yeah? This one, present progressive, is happening now. This one happened at a point in the past, right? This one is continuing, started in the past, continues, and keeps going, okay? So maybe you can see the differences between these three, okay? Let's continue. I'll check your answers quickly. Oh, wow, there's already examples. You guys are great. Wow, nice job. Elman wrote, she has been writing for an hour. Whew, nice one. Sebas wrote, she has been studying all day long. Great. Minna wrote, I've been working as an English teacher since 2010. Is that true? That's cool. Victor, I haven't finished, that's a different one. I haven't finished learning English. So we have to check, link those two verbs together. I haven't finished learning English because it's a lifelong task. Yeah, me too. I learn new English words all the time. It's true. Okay. Ayman wrote again, he has been playing games since 9 a.m. Oh my gosh, you guys have so many good examples already. Natalie wrote, I have been living in the UK for 3 years. Someone, your last name Diaz maybe? They've been living in CR since 2017. Mary Esther wrote, she's been learning a lot. Oh my gosh, you guys are saying all the examples before I can give the examples. Everybody, you're teaching yourselves today. I love it. I approve. Very impressive. Facebook, where's it going? What's going on over there, Facebook? Your YouTube classmates are doing a good job. Let's go to Alicia's examples because they're here. So let's talk about them. The first one, I have been cooking dinner for 2 hours. Let's break down the grammar here. Our subject, I. Come on, board, you can do it. Okay, I. I. And then have, because our subject is I didn't write it here, but I have. Next we have been, and then we have the verb in the ing form. I have been cooking dinner, in this case, for 2 hours. We use for plus a length of time. I've been cooking dinner for 2 hours. If you want to use since, you need to use a point in time. I've been cooking dinner since 5 o'clock, right? Okay, next one. He's been building his website since last month. He's been building his website since last month. One key point I want to talk about in this one. It's a very small point, but this is very important. So get ready. It's this, he's. This little apostrophe S. So this one, he's apostrophe S, H-E apostrophe S, or same thing with she's, same idea. Sometimes this means he has. In this sentence, it means he has, right? That's our grammar point. But sometimes it means he is. How do you know what's the difference? If you say, for example, he's been building his website, or for example, he's funny. Really simple sentence. They both use he's, but this one, only this one means he has. The other one means he is. This is a common contraction in English. So a question is, how do you know? How do I know which one is has and which one is? The answer is this been. If after the contracted he's or she's, you see been, it means has. This will get easier to recognize as you practice. He's been building. You will notice the grammar after this is different. So you know it can't be is, because if you write that, it would be he is been building, which is grammatically not correct, right? So if you ever think, is this an is or a has, try to remove the contraction and say he has or he is. Which one fits in the sentence, which is correct? That's the one that you want. Okay, let's look at the last example here. My friend has been advertising her business in a local magazine for 6 months. Ooh, I made a long one here. My friend has been advertising my friend has been advertising her business in a local magazine for 6 months. Let's break this down. Subject, my friend has, okay? My friend has. Plus, been advertising, our verb in the ing form. What has she been advertising? Her business. In this sentence, I include even more information. I do it within a local magazine. My friend has been advertising her business in a local magazine. So I explain the method, right? Then I end it with for 6 months, right? So we can include a lot of information in sentences like these. We need to use those little prepositions to help us do that, to help us connect. Okay, let me check the chat, and then we'll go to the last part, questions. Paloma wrote, she's been trying to fix my laptop for 4 hours. That's a long time. I hope that's not true. I hate it when my laptop breaks. Renee on Facebook wrote, he has been eating, someone has been, you need a subject. You have no subject, Renee. Someone has been eating bananas on the tree. Maybe the monkey has been eating bananas on the tree. That's a good one. Okay, back to YouTube. Alex wrote, I have been looking for an English teacher for 5 years. Then it's good. Don't forget your article an, because the next word starts with a vowel sound. Inazuma, he hasn't been attending class. No in there. He hasn't been attending class for almost a month, okay? Juan Matos wrote, I've been studying English by 101 for 3 years. I've been studying English with maybe this channel, or I've been studying English with English Class 101 for 3 years. Is that true? Thank you. That's awesome. That's super cool. Okay, phew, let's finish. So much to explain today, but we made it. The last part now, making questions. How do we make a question with this grammar point? Same idea as before, a WH question. Who, what, where, when, why. To begin, plus have or has, plus the subject, been, verb, ing. Wow, that's a big pattern. But you can just drop in your words in subject and verb positions and in the WH question positions to easily make your own sentence. So let's look at a few common ones. What have you been working on recently? That's the goal for today's lesson, for you to explain what you've been working on recently. Yeah? So I've been working on building a new website, or I've been working on getting new clients. Yeah? Or I've been working on my house projects. Yeah? So you can explain what you have been working on. Second, where have you been taking classes? Where have you been taking classes? That's a good one to know. So where have you been taking classes is a more, I think, kind of rich and valuable sentence than where did you take classes? Why, I guess. Where did you take classes is not incorrect, but it sounds like it's finished. That action's done. You do not take classes anymore. Where have you been taking classes sounds like where is your class that you go to now, you went to in the past, and you are continuing to go to. Yeah? So if someone asks you, where have you been taking English classes? You can say, oh, I have been taking English classes at EnglishClass101.com. See what I did there? Okay. So these are really, really valuable. Like, they give us a lot of information. If you want to upgrade your English speaking, challenge yourself and use these like tough but very useful grammar points. Okay? Okay. We made it. Hooray! We got through a lot of stuff today. If you would like to take a screenshot, you can do that now. Here's a screenshot. I think I can also make a QR code somehow. Does anybody, I don't know, I'll ask you. Do you want a QR code of the lesson? How do I do that? Control S? Do I push this button? Do I do it over here? That one? Okay. I think I can make a QR code. What's the one I push next? I don't know. I should probably figure this out when it's not live. But let me know in the chat if you guys, do you want a QR code where you can scan it and you will get this so you don't have to take a screenshot? Let me know. Kobayashi says, it would be great. How do I do it? I don't know. Settings? I'm afraid to push a button. Oh, maybe it's this one. Ah, share my QR code. Yeah! Okay. I will make this. And you guys should get a QR code in a second. Yay! Oh, let me get it out of the way. Okay, there is a QR code so you can receive today's lesson content. You don't have to take a screenshot. You can see all my notes from today. Okay, how do I get out of here? Great, that worked perfect, hurrah. Okay, good. All right, I have to finish there. But of course, I'll be back next week. What did I choose for next week's topic? Please join me again, same time, same channels, next week at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. If you don't know your local time, Google it or set a notification. You'll get a pop-up when we start the live stream. Next week, I'm going to talk about, yes, a very important one to practice, how to use give, receive, borrow, and lend. Those 4 verbs cause a lot of confusion, so I like to do a live stream about them maybe once a year or so. So please join me next week to practice those 4 very important verbs and learn when to use which one, why, and so on. I know that that's one that lots of people struggle with. So that will be very fun. Okay. Phew, we made it. Thanks everybody for joining me. Also, don't forget, I'll remind you one final time, don't forget this amazing PDF ebook. Oh my gosh. This has the 2,000 core words of English, the most important words for everyday conversation. You can get it for free at EnglishClass101.com. So check the link down below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook if you want to get that. You just need a free account to download this. You just need your name and your email address in order to make a free account, and then you can get this PDF ebook and practice those important words. Okay? All right. Phew, we'll finish there. Today was a big lesson, for real. But I want to say thank you to everybody for joining me live. Thank you for your great questions, your great example sentences. I was very impressed today. Oh my gosh, you guys were teaching the lesson yourselves. That was amazing. So thank you all very much for joining me this week. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend, and I will see you again next time. Bye. Hi everybody, and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alisha, and this week we are going to talk about giving, receiving, borrowing, and lending. These verbs cause lots of confusion, so today I want to practice them a lot. I want to give you some images, some beautiful drawings, to help you understand how these words work together and how you can use them correctly. So today we are going to practice, of course, these key vocabulary words, but we are also going to practice a lot of prepositions, the words from and to, and when should we use to me or from her, and those kind of small parts that I know can be really, really difficult when you're using these words. So I hope today is a great chance to practice for learners of all levels to make sure you get it right. So as you join, please make sure to hit the like button, yes, and of course share this video because it helps other people find the lesson. Send me a message in the chat too if you're watching live, and I'll come try to say hi in just a moment. While we wait for people to join us live, a quick reminder, the team has a free 2,000 word PDF ebook. This book that I'm pointing at here, this book right here, is the 2,000 words. It includes the 2,000 core words of English. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. The 2,000 core words of all languages are the most commonly used words in everyday communication. So they are the most important words that you need to know for everyday conversational fluency. So the team has created this free ebook. You can get it at EnglishClass101.com. Just check the link below the video if you're watching this on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. You can download this ebook for free. I will remind you again later in this lesson. You can find the page, if you click the link, that has all of the details about how to get the ebook. You just need a free account, so that means you just need your name and your email address, and then you can download the free ebook, so check it out. Okay, I see some people, it looks like everything is rolling. Hello on Facebook, Ghassan, what's up? Abdullah, hello, welcome everybody on YouTube. Hello, Renee from Honduras, what's up? Gabriel, hey, Mino, Jamili, Cesar, Yaya, hello, I am feeling good. Shihab, Tiny Heart, hello, Inazuma, what's up everybody? Okay, we're going to start today quickly, and I hope today you can give me some example sentences. I want you all to have a good chance to practice yourself today in the chat. So get ready. Okay, let's get started then. Let's begin with giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. So to give something means you have an object, like this person, and then you put this object in someone else's hands, right? So let's say I have this pen, this marker. I give the pen to someone else, right? So it's not mine now. I give it, right? With give, we think I give it and it's over there now. It's not mine now. I gave it to you. So in past tense, we are going to use past tense a lot today. It is gave, okay? The other side then, the side that takes the object, this person uses the verb receive. Right? To receive something means to take something from someone else in this case, after they give it, right? So to receive something, or more casually in everyday conversation, to get something, okay? To get something. So in past tense, which we are going to use today, we have received, to receive something, or we also use got for past tense of get. So these are our key words for part one. So let's first make a basic sentence with give, or past tense gave. So how do we express this relationship? Yeah? We have a basic pattern, actually one basic pattern that we can change a little bit. So subject gave object to person. Subject gave object to person. So for example, I gave a present to my friend. I gave a present to my friend. So this is my subject. Who gave the thing? Me. I did it, okay? I use past tense. I gave. The action is finished. What did I give? A present. I gave a present. This is singular, one present, right? You can use the plural. I gave presents to my friend is okay. Then we have the preposition to. To shows the direction, right? I gave a present to my friend, so going away from me. Who received the present? My friend. So I gave a present to my friend, okay? I gave a present to my friend. Very basic sentence, right? So you can send your examples in the chat. Okay, then we can change this. It is okay to change the position of the receiving person and the object. Okay, this is also okay. I gave my friend a present. I gave my friend a present. The beginning is the same. I and gave. These two, the subject and the past tense verb, are the same. However, in this pattern, the receiving person is after the verb. Then we have the object. Notice in this sentence, there is no preposition. I gave my friend a present is also okay. Okay? So both of these sentence patterns are all right? Okay, I see some examples coming in. On Facebook, Fernando wrote, my friend gave me the hammer. Is it correct? Yes, perfectly grammatically correct. Love that. Okay? I'm going to look for some give examples. Mina wrote, I gave 2 drips of coffee. So a drip means 1 water drop. Very small. So you don't want to say drips of coffee, yeah? I gave 2 maybe bags of drip coffee, yeah? 2 drips means 2 tiny pieces of water, like from a water droplet, like a water dropper. It's very, very small. So I gave 2 maybe bags of drip coffee to my father for Father's Day. Okay. Nahora wrote, he gave me a book for my birthday. Great, you used this sentence pattern. So he gave me a book. Nice one. M wrote, Alisha gave us great English lessons. Hooray! Thank you. Nice sentence. Gup, I hope, said, I gave a new phone to my friend, and he got it for me. Oh, I see. You made you made the reverse one. Nice. Okay. Let's see some other ones. Renee wrote, she gives me water. Okay, so that's one, that sentence means it's a regular action. She gives me water. Sounds like maybe someone at work, you know, oh, my coworker, she always gives me water. So maybe that could be it. Let's see, Vedant wrote, I gave her a mobile. Good. Jamili wrote, I gave so food is uncountable, yeah? So I gave a delicious, maybe treat. So for dogs, we often say treats, something special and small for the dog to eat. I gave a delicious treat to my dog would be great, okay? Good. Let's continue then to the second part. Let's talk about this side now, the receiving side, the side that gets something, okay? So the pattern here is subject, got, or received because it's past tense, right? A finished action. Subject, got, or received, to be more formal. Object, from person. Subject, got, object, from person. Let's look at the example sentence, and then I'll write one while you send me your examples too. So first, our subject, I, okay? So this means I receive. I am this one here. I got, past tense. I got a present. I got a present. I received the present here. My preposition is from. I got a present from my friend. So in this sentence, my friend is this person, the giving person. I got a present from my friend. Big point here, the preposition changed, right? From shows direction. Yes, it shows the direction, but it shows it comes, it starts here and it goes to me. It comes to me, so it came from somewhere else, the opposite here. So notice when the thing goes away from you, it is to someone. In the opposite direction, from. I got a present from my friend, yeah? We can switch this around, yeah? So we could say, my friend gave me a present as well, okay? So we can switch, we can talk, we can use these two sentences in opposite ways, yeah? So I got a present from my friend and my friend gave me a present mean the same thing, right? The only change is we swap the subject. Who is the subject? Who is giving? Who is receiving? Okay, I'll check your example sentences now. Nahora wrote, I received a book from my friend. Perfect example sentence, Nahora. Let's see, I'm looking for some examples. Bernardo wrote, Alisha got a lot of likes from her online class. So from her online, maybe learners, or from her online students would be good. I would say from the students rather than from the class. Yeah, nice one. Okay. Let's go back to YouTube. Natalie wrote, my daughter got pocket money from me. Nice one. Okay, who haven't I read yet? Inazuma, you wrote, I gave a present for my friend. Check your prepositions, yeah? I gave a present to my friend for, so you're showing the purpose, which is great. I gave a present to my friend for his birthday, and he received it. You don't have to say by delivery, and he received it, right? Or if you want to be specific, I sent a present to my friend overseas. Make it efficient. That one sounds great. Let's see, some people, Vedant, you put it together again. I gave her a mobile and she received it from me. Okay, you're putting both of them together. I love that. Patrick, what do you want to say? I've received money from my money. So maybe you can, that means I received money from money. Who is the person? Who is the person you receive from, right? So maybe think about how to say that, okay? All right, so let me add one more here for an example. So I got a present from my friend. Let's change the subject then here, okay? So for example, my roommate got a bonus from her manager. My roommate, got a bonus, sorry, that's hard to read, got a bonus from her manager. So this is a work situation, yeah? We can use this, and we need to use this often in work situations. It's not just in personal situations. My roommate got a bonus from her manager. So again, we have this preposition from, and here we have her manager. Her manager, because we are talking about my roommate, right? So the manager is my roommate's manager. In this example sentence, the roommate is a woman. So my roommate got a bonus from her manager. So when you want to use this pattern, make sure these words are also clear, right? So that you show the relationship between the subject and the person they receive something from. Okay. Goop wrote, I got a salary boost from my boss. Is that okay? Yes, good. To say it more naturally though, salary boost is raise. I got a raise from my boss. Then it sounds very natural, okay? All right, phew, let's take a break and go to part 2. Oh, great job, everybody. Nice one so far. Oh, Facebook, I didn't see your examples. Goldbird wrote, I gave some flowers to my husband. Nice one. Abdullah wrote, I received, past tense, I received the example from Alisha. Okay, good one. All right, if you missed it very quickly, the team has a free PDF ebook for you to download to practice the most important words for everyday communication in English. These are the 2,000 core words of English. This ebook is totally free at EnglishClass101.com. You just need your name and an email address to make a free account, and then you can come back to this page and download this PDF ebook. You can put it on your computer, put it on your phone, you can print it out, you can write on it, go crazy. So please enjoy this ebook. I hope it helps you to study the most important words first, yeah? So if you want to study the best vocabulary for daily communication first, check this out. Okay, let's go to part 2. Part 2 is about the word borrow. We're going to break this one down a lot. If you haven't, please, please, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video. Yeah, it really helps us, and it helps us to reach other people with the lessons. Okay, some more examples are coming. Patrick, nice. I received, you don't need to say I received money from my mom to buy food for dinner. Okay, I guess you can say I've received money from my mom. So today I'm practicing just simple past tense. I've received money from my mom. Sounds like that affects your day. So in this case, that's an appropriate choice. Yes, you could also use simple past tense. Okay, XP together. Thanks. I'm glad you are motivated by my lessons. That's awesome. Let's continue to borrow. So let's talk about borrow. First, to borrow. Let's use the same image here. To borrow means to take something temporarily. To take something temporarily. This is the key word. Temporarily means not forever, for a short time only. Yeah? So to borrow, this person, the receiving person here, the receiving person takes the object, but in the future, they will give back the thing, okay? To borrow means this, all right? So let's look at the first pattern I want to practice, and then we're going to practice requests, which gets a little bit difficult, okay? So first pattern is subject, borrowed, object, from person. Subject, borrowed object, from person. Notice we are using, in this pattern, the preposition from, yeah? Because we, on this side, we receive, right? The subject here receives the object, yeah? So we learned in part 1, when we receive, we use the preposition from, okay? Let's look at the examples. First, I borrowed a shirt from my sister. I borrowed a shirt from my sister. In this case, Subject is I, the person who receives, yeah? Borrow. Past tense, I borrowed. I borrowed, it's finished. What did I borrow? I borrowed a shirt. My preposition is from, right? So here is my sister. My sister. Who did I get it from? My sister. This is the person who originally had the item. I borrowed a shirt from my sister, okay? Let's look at the second example and then I'll come to the chat. My mom borrowed a sweater from me. My mom borrowed a sweater from me, okay? So in this case, my mom is the person receiving. My mom borrowed, past tense again. What did she borrow? A sweater. We use the preposition from. Who did she borrow it from? Me. Okay. Notice in this position, when we use, so after from, we can use, of course, the title, a person's name or title, like my sister, my mother, my father, or we can use this object pronoun, me, him, or her, right? So in this case, me, from me, not I. You cannot use I. That's the subject position. We want the object pronoun here. So my mom borrowed a sweater from me. In this sentence, this is me. This is my mom, okay? So my mom borrowed a sweater from me. This means she will give it back, I hope. Okay? Let me see your example sentences. Goop wrote, I borrowed some clothes from him. Perfect. Natalie wrote, I borrowed a bicycle from my sister. Perfect. Renee wrote, I borrowed. Don't forget your past tense there, Renee. I borrowed. I borrowed the car, or I borrowed a car. So we don't know which car you mean. Yeah? I borrowed a car from Alisha to go to the USA. Okay? Inazuma wrote, I've borrowed a lot of pens, plural, from my mother so that I can use them for school. So a lot of plural item, yeah? Make those fixes. This pattern is great. Just watch out for the singular and plural nouns. Vedant wrote, I borrowed a book from the library and read it over the weekend. Perfect, very nice. Nahora wrote, Andres borrowed an eraser from Natalie. Perfect. Patrick wrote, I borrowed a school bag from my cousin to go to college yesterday. Nice one. On Facebook, Fernando, my brother borrowed $500 from my sister. Very nice. Nice examples, everybody. Crushing it. I love that. Okay. Let's go. Ooh, I just saw one. Victor, I borrowed a loan from the Department of Education. Loan is a different one. Okay. I'm not going to talk a lot about loan today. We don't say I borrowed a loan because a loan means temporary money. So it's like I borrowed and I got something temporary. It's like saying the same thing two times. We say I got a loan or I received a loan, like we talked about in part one. I got a loan from the Department of Education. Say that. Don't say I borrowed a loan, right? It's saying I borrowed money, which is like the same thing two times. Okay? Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Let's go now. Let's compare this to the requests section because I think this part is where it gets a little difficult, yeah? How do you request this? How do you ask someone, can I use that temporarily, right? This is where I see most mistakes, so let's practice this one a lot, okay? Let's practice this request pattern. Can person borrow your object? Can person borrow your object? So when I say person here, use your subject pronoun, okay? So let's look at the first example. Can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow your pen? So in this sentence, can I, right? So this is me. I'm asking. I want to use it, right? I want to take it and then give it back. Can I borrow? No change to the verb, okay? Dictionary verb form. Can I borrow your pen? In this case, it belongs to you. This is the object. Can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow your pen? Okay? Very simple sentence, right? But I think it gets confusing because you think, how do I express it? What do I need to say here? Very, very simple. And in this sentence, notice there's no preposition. You don't have to say, can I borrow your pen from you? You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Can I borrow your pen is okay to use, all right? Let's talk now about a situation where the object is just some object at work. Like, for example, let's say it's a coffee cup at your office or at your school, yeah? So you can say, can I borrow, oops, it's hard to read, isn't it? Sorry. Can I borrow that coffee cup? If you don't know if the other person is using that, you can use a pattern like this. Can I borrow, that's still really hard to see. Sorry, my R's are coming out kind of ugly right now. Can I borrow, oh my gosh, can I borrow, there we go. Can I borrow that, let's say cup, can I borrow that cup? You can use this pattern if you don't know whose object it is. Can I borrow that cup? Or you could say, are you using that? But you can use this pattern when you don't know who an object belongs to. Can I borrow that cup? So if you know who it belongs to, you can use your. If you don't know, just say, can I borrow that thing? Is that okay? Use this pattern, and it's nice and general enough that you can use it for everything. Okay, let me check the examples. Wow, Facebook. I love that there's lots of Facebook participation today. Loza wrote, can I borrow your car? Great. Fernando wrote, can I borrow your car to go to the pharmacy? Great. Lots of car borrowers. Adam wrote, can I borrow your car? Okay. Umer wrote, my friend borrowed money from me. Perfect. Nice one. Great job, Facebook. Let's go back to YouTube. I'm trying to find people I have not read examples from yet, but okay. Renee, he borrowed the car from I'm not sure who, Jonah? Maybe that's in a different language. So he borrowed the car from person. If that's a person, great. So that's fine. I'm not sure if that's a person's name, but if it's a person's name, remove my. He borrowed the car from Jonah, maybe, then no my there. Vedant, he borrowed a shirt from his brother because he forgot to pack one on his trip. Perfect, nice one. Nahora, can I borrow your umbrella? Perfect, nice one. Renee, can Jonah borrow his car to Edgar? Renee, please stay for part 3. You need a different verb there. We cannot use borrow in that sentence pattern. So you need to reverse that. Can Edgar borrow his car from, or borrow the car from Jonah? You need to reverse that. So only the owner in this position. The owner of the object goes here. The person receiving goes here. Can someone borrow the object from the owner? Okay? Oh my gosh, so many examples. Mino, can I borrow your cooking skill? We don't use borrow for concepts, really. It's quite rare to suggest that as a concept, or to ask to borrow a concept. We might say, can I borrow you for a moment, which means I need your help. That's a casual expression. We don't use borrow for concepts. So can I borrow you later today? I want to cook something delicious is how we could maybe express that. We usually use this for physical objects. Can I borrow your laptop? Can I borrow some money? Can I borrow your cup? Yeah? So I don't recommend using this for concepts. Okay? All right. Oh my gosh, time's out. So let's continue on to lend. I like to explain. What can I say? Okay. Renee, can I borrow the car to Jonah? No, you cannot say that. So borrow the car from. Yeah? Review this point right here, Renee. Can I borrow? I'm not sure. What was your sentence? Can I borrow the car? You need to put the person who owns the object. Oh, sorry. The person who owns the object goes at the end. Can I borrow Jonah's car? Can I borrow Jonah's car? Don't use to. Can I borrow a person's name, their object? Yeah, try again there. You'll get it, Renee. I believe in you. Okay, let's go to the last part because I'm very late. So lend, let's talk about lend. Lend now is the opposite here of borrow. So when we practiced borrow, we talked about the receiving side. However, lend is on the giving side, okay? So To lend means to give something, again, temporarily. Remember, temporarily means it's going to come back, yeah? So to lend something means to give something and expect to receive it again. Okay? So let's look at the subject of the sentence pattern then here. Very similar to this one, but some very important differences. Subject, past tense, lent, object, to, person. Subject, lent, object, to, person. Very important point here is the preposition to. To. Notice we used from with borrow, right? So I received from, but I lend to someone. It goes away from me. Away. To. Okay? So let's look at the example sentences. These are the opposite of these. So I lent a sweater to my mom. I lent a sweater to my mom. So my subject, the owner, I am the owner. The subject here is the owner. I lent, past tense, a sweater is the object. I lent a sweater to, because it's going away from me, and then my mom. My mom received the sweater, okay? I lent a sweater to my mom. So owner, object, receiver, okay? That's the pattern with lend, yeah? Let's look at the sentence, the next sentence. My sister lent me a shirt. My sister lent me a shirt. Okay, I put a challenge in this one. Do you remember in part 1 when I said we could swap the order of the object and the person receiving? We have an example here. So my sister lent. So here is the owner, the subject. My sister is the owner. Again, the verb in past tense, lent, right? Then we have the person receiving, in this case, me, me. What did I receive? A shirt. So my sister lent me a shirt. We can use this pattern we practiced in part 1, right? Just like my sister gave me a shirt, we can use it with lend also. You can use this pattern, of course, too. My sister lent a shirt to me is also okay to use. All right? So let's see. I'm going to come and check your examples really quickly. Nahora wrote, I lent my cottage to my cousins. I lent my cottage to my cousins. Nice one. Renee wrote, I lent a bag to Jonah and Hansel. Nice. You got it, Renee. Great. Great. Good one. Natalie wrote, I lent my watch to my mother. Great. Inazuma wrote, I lent some paperwork. So paperwork is non-countable. We don't count paperwork. So I lent some paperwork to my friend so we can finish our group project before the deadline. So to lend paperwork, this is very, very creative. Usually we would say I gave some paperwork to my friend because we lend something that is valuable and that we want, right? We do not lend a task, okay? We don't lend tasks. So lend an object, right? So in this case, it sounds like a task. Okay. All right, let's go to the last part then. Is everything okay? Control desk? The monitor has died over here. Okay. All right, let's go to the last point then. Requests. Last part here, maybe the most challenging one. How do you ask someone to lend something? What's the difference with this and this, okay? Someone, I think it was Renee, had this question earlier. So Renee, pay attention. This is for you. Okay, the pattern, the last pattern for today is can owner, the person who owns the object, lend person, this is the receiver, your object. In this case, I have your object. This is a very common pattern, okay? So, for example, can you lend me your car? Many people use this example sentence, okay? So our request, can you, okay? You, the owner, can you lend, so no change to the verb here, can you lend me your car? In this case, we have your because you are the owner, yeah? The object is car, okay? So can you lend me your car? Means I want to use your car for a short time and then give it back, okay? Can you lend me your car? Let me see your examples. Fernando wrote on Facebook, could you lend me your laptop to finish my homework? Great. And then I lent my laptop to my mom. Love it. Great job. Crushing it, Fernando. Awesome. Back to YouTube. Nora wrote, my brother lent me some money I needed. Great. Patrick wrote, I lent my sunglasses to my father. He'd like to go to the beach tomorrow. Nice one. Batman says, ma'am, repeat again, please. Just watch it again. It's a live stream. Just watch the video again. Okay? Vedant wrote, she lent me her cell phone so I could make calls. I love it. Okay? Nahora wrote, can you lend me your cooking book? Yeah, we usually just say cookbook as one word. Cookbook. It's kind of a cute word, isn't it? Can you lend me your cookbook? Nice. Inazuma wrote, can you lend me your bike so that I can go to the supermarket to do some shopping? Yeah, nice one. Very long sentence. Great job including that all the purpose. Natalie wrote, can you lend me your maid? Ooh, we usually don't use it. I would say we rarely use it for people. Like, can you lend me your maid? Like, because it's a person, they can make decisions themselves. You might say, can I have your maid's contact information? That might be a good way to say it instead, okay? Renee wrote, can you lend me your pen to write? Yeah, great, great, great. Okay. And back on Facebook, woohoo, look at all the examples. Nuha wrote, can you lend me your, watch out, your pen? Can you lend me your pen? Annie wrote, can you lend me your phone? Elvira wrote, can you lend me your car? Great job. Everybody, amazing work today. I love it. I love it. XP wrote, can I borrow your patience? So again, we don't use really lend and borrow for concepts, yeah? So we use these words to talk about physical objects, okay? Phew. But I have to finish there for today. So I'm very late already. So if, oh yes, I learned how to do this recently. I'll move out of the way. You can take a screenshot now. Beautiful. But if you prefer, I will make a QR code so that you can get this easily on your phone or other device. It should load here so that you can scan it. Yeah! So if you want to get today's lesson notes, you can download it from this QR code. We love it. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much, everybody. I love there is so many great example sentences and great questions. I hope you learned, and I hope that you could practice easily. Next week, oh, that's right, next week I'll be gone. Next week, I will not be here. The lovely Daphne will be your lesson guide for next week. So please enjoy a nice lesson with Daphne. I think she's going to talk about some proverbs in English, which are very useful to know. So please enjoy Daphne's lesson next week. I'll be back the week after that. So have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend. Don't forget to get your free PDF ebook from EnglishClass101.com and learn all those core words. So I will say goodbye for now, but I will see you again soon. Bye. Hi everybody, and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alisha, and this week we are going to talk about how to talk about your likes and dislikes. This is a very important thing to be able to do. Today we're going to talk about basic grammar that includes the difference between an infinitive and a gerund, like I like to, verb, or I like verb ing. We're also going to practice a key grammar point to express the kinds of people that you like and dislike. So today will be a great chance to practice some of those challenging grammar points and to practice a lot of your adjective vocabulary. So I hope that this lesson is a great one for people from beginners to intermediate to even advanced learners. So as you join, please make sure to hit the like button and of course share this video so other people can find today's lesson. While we wait for people to join us live, you can send a message in the chat. If you are already there, I will come to say hello in just a moment. But I want to remind you, if you have not seen it already, the team has a free PDF ebook for you to practice vocabulary words. This free PDF ebook has the 2,000 core words of English. The core words of English are the most important words for everyday communication. So these are the words we use the most in everyday life. If you want to make sure that you study the most important words first, you can download this ebook at EnglishClass101.com. There's a link below the video on YouTube, above the video on Facebook. So check this out. I'll remind you again later. Okay, we have a lot to talk about today, so let's get into the lesson. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Hi, Luis and Natalie, Victor, Nahora. Hi, Eliasin. Hi, Oscar. Atharagama. Hello. Jose, Carolina, Rodis, Kashaf. Hello, everybody. Welcome. On Facebook, Adam and Dina. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Let's begin because we have a lot to talk about. Don't forget to hit the like button. Okay, let's go. Let's begin with part 1, your likes. I want to begin today's lesson with a comparison here. There are 2 grammar patterns we use to talk about the things we like and dislike, but that's part 2, okay? So we have I like to verb. So here in brackets is the base form of the verb, the infinitive form, to plus verb. We can also use the pattern I like verb in the ing form. Both patterns are correct. Both patterns have the same meaning and the same feel, so you can choose the one you prefer. There's no difference here, okay? We can change like to love if you want to increase the level. So I love to verb, or I love verb-ing, okay? So we can make sure that we use these in a lot of different patterns, and we're going to use them quite a lot today, okay? So let's take a look at the first one. I like to cook is our first example. Let's break down this very simple sentence, okay? So I like, right here, is this part. The first thing that tells us the feeling, yeah? And then to cook is our infinitive verb. I like to cook. Easy, right? We could say, I like cooking. 100% correct. That's great. Send your likes in the chat. That's your first little live homework, okay? Let's look at the second example. I like watching movies. I like watching movies. So again, we have I like at the beginning of the sentence to show our feeling, and here is the verb in the ing form. I like watching movies. We cannot say I like watch movies. So we cannot combine these two. We must use to plus the base verb or verb ing. We cannot mix those two. And yes, you can say I love watching movies or I love to cook to make the feeling a little stronger. So let me check your chat examples. I like to study. Nice one, Adam. And Loza wrote, I like playing soccer. Nice, okay. On YouTube, back from Facebook onto YouTube. Nohora wrote, I like reading ancient books. Is that true? Ancient books, why ancient books? And you also wrote, I like to walk under the rain. We usually say, I like to walk in the rain. That sounds natural. Kashaf wrote, I like to write. Good. Renee wrote, I like to watch Alisha. Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. Ricardo wrote, I like to drive. Make sure drive, not driver. I like to drive on the right. Luis wrote, I like to learn English with Alisha. Nice. Okay, good. Kashaf wrote, I love writing stories. Good. Nahora wrote, I like running. And Davi wrote, I like watching your videos. Nice examples, everybody. Great job. Let's keep going because we have a lot to talk about today. Okay? Let's look at the second example, or the second pattern, really. This one is a more casual way to talk about what you like. When you first meet a new friend or a new colleague, they might use this pattern. They might use this expression. I'm into noun phrase. I'm into noun phrase. This means I am interested in noun phrase, okay? But this is a much more casual, more friendly way to express this, okay? I'm into noun phrase. This noun phrase part is usually a hobby or a topic of study, maybe, okay? For example, I'm into photography. I'm into photography. This means I'm interested in photography, okay? Or I'm into music. I'm into music, yeah? Or we could say I'm into rock music or I'm into classical music. We can be very specific, but you just need to use a noun phrase to express that, okay? Let me see some examples. On Facebook, I can't read your username. You wrote, I like read books. You need to use the to verb, or the to pattern there. I like to read books. I like to read books, yeah? So you could say I like to read books or I like reading books, but you do need to use only one of those patterns, yeah? Only one, okay? So maybe review your sentence, Facebook person. Okay, some other people wrote, Luis wrote, I'm into watching. So if you want to use, if you want to make a verb into a noun, you can do that. That's great. So if you want to use a verb in this noun phrase, you need to use the verb ing pattern. That makes it into a gerund, verbing here. So Luis, I'm into watch technology content. So change that, I'm into watching technology content on YouTube. Then it's perfect, okay? The Black Eagle wrote, I'm into soccer. Good. Natalie wrote, I'm into nightlife. Good. Kashav wrote, I'm into cooking. Nahora wrote, I'm into poetry. Renee wrote, I'm into food. Nice one. Great, great. Okay, let's continue to the last part here. Situations. Situations. So how do we talk about a scene or a situation we like, right? These patterns talk about our hobbies and our interests, right? But sometimes we want to talk about a situation or an action, yeah? This is a pattern you can use to express that. There are two patterns in one here, actually. So the first is, I like how, blah, 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 or I like the way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let me introduce two examples, and then I'll break down what's happening in the sentence. First, I like the way you did your hair. I like the way you did your hair. So here we have I like, again, at the beginning, and then we have I like the way. Okay, the way means the method, or I like the style you used in this case. So the way, maybe the best way to understand it is the method, right? I like the method you used to do your hair. So I like the way you did your hair. Notice here, we have a past tense verb. To do your hair means to style your hair, yeah? We use the verb do. We use past tense here to talk about a past action. So my hair is styled, or the person's hair is finished. So we use past tense did. I like the way you did your hair, or I like the way you did your hair today, okay? Let's look at another example of this. I like how you explained that concept. I like how you explained that concept. In this sentence, we have I like followed by how, and then how you explained. So again, I have a past tense verb in this sentence. The action is finished. I like how you explained that concept. That means your explanation was very good, or I enjoyed your explanation. It's a different way to express this. Notice both of these sentences use you. It's very common to follow this I like the way or I like how with something that shows the person who did that thing. I like the way you did your hair, or I like the way he explained that concept, or I like the way she cooked that meal. So we often point to a person in this part of the sentence. Who did that thing you liked, okay? You can try this sentence in the comments if you like. Let's see what you have written. Some people are still sending this into. Fide wrote, I'm into English classes. Perfect, good. On Facebook, I can't read your username, but you got it. I like to read books. Great, nice fix, good job. Oh my gosh, Facebook, good job. YouTube is exploding too. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to both of them. Good job, everybody. Nahora wrote, I like how you talked to me. Good. The Black Eagle wrote, I like how you solved the math exercise. Good. Or we often use the word problem for math homework. Like one math question is called a math problem. It's kind of unique to only mathematics, so that's one small point there. So the Black Eagle, I like how you solved the math problem would be great. Louis, good one. I like how the basketball sounds when I rebound it. Okay, so when you catch it or when you shoot it. So to rebound, right, means to catch it after bouncing off the backboard, right? So maybe that's a very specific sound for you. Either way, great. Good job. I like the way she comprehends the lecture. To comprehend means to understand. So that sentence means you are watching someone listen to the lecture. Yeah? I like the way she comprehends the lecture. It sounds like you enjoy watching someone listen and understand. Is that what you want to say? The grammar is correct, but the situation is a little bit strange. Okay? Veilon has a question. Can I would be to like to do something be used? No. I do not know what you would like to say. I would like to do something is okay. I would like to verb, great. That sounds good. But we cannot mix I would like and I would be and to do all together. So no is the answer to your question. Okay, Renee wrote, I like the way, so no, don't put both. Don't put both together. Choose one. I like the way you did the presentation on YouTube, or I like how you did the presentation on YouTube. Choose one only of these, okay? Others, Alan wrote, I like the way you teach English. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Gertrudis wrote, oh, I like how she cooks fish. Is the O intentional? Great. I love it. Okay, others. On Facebook, Wayne wrote, I like my best friends. Okay, that's a different grammar pattern. And Carol wrote, I like your class. It's very interesting. Okay, so different grammar patterns, but correct. Phew, great job with part 1. Let's take a quick break and continue to part 2, the opposite, dislikes. And we're going to practice some different grammar patterns. So quickly, if you missed it before, I will tell you now. The team has a free PDF ebook for you to practice your vocabulary. I love it. You can find this at EnglishClass101.com. Check the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video or to the side on Facebook. You can find the link for this page. You just need your name and an email address to download this for free. This has the 2,000 core words of English. That means these are the 2,000 most commonly used words for everyday communication. So if you want to boost your vocabulary and study the best words first, check this out. Okay, I'll remind you again later. Okay, let's go to part 2. Part 2 is about dislikes, but I hope that you like this video. Make sure to hit the like button, yeah? Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. Okay, let's take a look now. Dislikes. So we can use the same patterns we practiced in part 1. I don't like to verb, or I don't like verbing. This is the same, yay, as part 1. We love that. However, we do have a negative. To make this a negative, we must include I don't. I don't. I do not like to verb. I do not like verbing. So, I don't like to cook. I don't like to cook. Let's break down this sentence. I don't like expresses dislike. I do not like to do that thing. Plus our verb in the infinitive form. I do not like to cook. Okay? Second example, I don't like watching TV. I don't like watching TV. In this sentence, I don't like plus our verb in the ing form. I don't like watching TV. Okay? If you want to increase the level of your feeling, we can change I don't like to hate. I hate to verb. I hate ing. Okay? So I hate to cook. I hate to cook. Or I hate watching TV. You can use both of those. Okay, let me see your examples. Nahora wrote, I don't like to do the dishes. Luis wrote, I don't like to eat vegetables. Good. Renee wrote, I do not like to sleep in the afternoon. In the afternoon is your preposition there. Okay. Nahora wrote, I don't like reading terror books. We usually say horror books. Actually, I have an example sentence that's a good example later. Okay, Luis wrote, I do not like plates dirty. Put your adjective before the noun. So dirty before plates. I do not like dirty plates. Different grammar pattern, no verb there, but we can use that sentence as well. Kashaf wrote, can we say, this is aren't for me? So no, you have two be verbs there. Is and aren't are both be. So this is not for me. Burgers aren't for me. Please stay until part 3. I'm going to talk about some similar examples too. Santi wrote, I hate to talk. I hate to talk. I feel like I usually, when I use the verb hate, I'll give a tip. So this one, usually when I use the verb hate, I use this one. I hate talking. I hate shopping. So we usually use that ing verb pattern. You may hear some people use this to verb pattern with hate, but I feel like it's a little more common to use the ing pattern here. Okay, let's see some other examples. Many people are writing. I'm going to try to check answers from people who I have not read from yet. Patrick wrote, I don't like playing violin. It's difficult. Okay, great. But you can play violin. That's amazing. Gertrudis wrote, I hate watching maybe vampire movies. I think that's it. Ong wrote, I don't like early wake up. You want to say, I don't like waking up early. Very common one. Me too. I hate waking up early. I hate it. I hate waking up early. Maybe many of you are like that. Okay. Loza on Facebook, you wrote, I don't like people talkative. Please stay until this section. I'm going to talk about the correct way to make that sentence. You are very, very close. Very close. So please wait for this explanation. Okay. Let's continue to the next pattern though. The next pattern is I'm not really into noun phrase. I'm not really into noun phrase. We practiced the positive form, I'm into noun phrase in part 1. This one is the negative. I'm not makes it negative. And we can make it softer with really. I'm not really into noun phrase is a soft way to say I'm not so interested in noun phrase. Let's look at the examples. I'm not really into rock music. So I'm not makes it negative. I don't like. Really, we can remove, but it makes it softer. So I'm not into rock music is more direct. I'm not into rock music. However, I'm not really into rock music sounds softer, less direct. Okay? Both are correct. So we have into, again, right here. And finally, our noun phrase, rock music. I'm not really into rock music. So thank you for the invitation to the concert, but I'm not really into rock music. Okay, let's look at the second example. I'm not really into museums. I'm not really into museums. Again, I'm not shows it is negative. Really is the softening expression. Into shows interest. And our noun phrase is museums. I'm not really into museums. Sorry, I don't think I want to go to that exhibition with you. Okay. Let me see your examples. On Facebook, I can't read username. I don't like to drink beer. Good example. And Loza wrote, I'm not really into the clubhouse. What's the clubhouse? Okay, I don't know. Maybe that's a location that you know. I don't know what it is. Grammatically, okay. Let me see on YouTube. Coming back to YouTube, Aung wrote, I don't like having alone. You can say, I don't like being alone. I don't like being alone is the best way to express that. Niharul, I don't like drive. So use your to verb. I don't like to drive. Don't just put the verb. You need to. I don't like to drive. Okay? Others. Luis wrote, I'm not really into playing video games. Perfect. Nice one. Gertrudis wrote, I'm not really into soccer. Nice. Kasha, could we replace really to literally? Replace this? I'm not literally into shopping. No, they mean very different things. You cannot replace really and literally. Very different, very different. So do not do that. Others on Facebook, Pia wrote, I'm not into salsa songs. Great, very specific. Ali wrote, I'm not so into theater. Nice, you can replace this really with so. Like, I'm not so into theater. Makes it sound a little more casual. Great one. Okay, let's continue because, oh my gosh, time always goes away from me. I love to explain. Let's finish part 2 with people. Okay, this one is going to help you practice a key grammar point. Let's look at the pattern first. I don't like people who. I don't like people who. This who is important, okay? Let's take a look at the 2 examples and break them down. I don't like people who are close-minded. I don't like people who are close-minded. If you don't know close-minded, it means they don't think about something outside their life or outside their mind now, right? So open-minded is the opposite. They understand there are many ways to live life, many different interests, many different types of people. Close-minded means they don't accept new things very well, okay? So let's break this down. I don't like. This is the same as here, right? I don't like. Then we have people and then who. We have to have this. I think Loza on Facebook, you wrote a similar sentence here. We need to follow this with who. Are, in this case, shows a condition about that person or a status. In this case, I have close-minded. So you can use this pattern to talk about a personality type. I don't like people who are loud, or I don't like people who are selfish. I don't like people who are arrogant. Yeah? You can use this pattern to talk about personality types you dislike. Okay? And of course, you can change this to the positive by removing don't. So, I like people who are kind, or I like people who are funny, right? So we can use this pattern to talk about personalities that we like and dislike. Let's look at the second example of this. I don't like people who never think about others. I don't like people who never think about others. Okay? Let's break this one down. I don't like people who. Again, we have who. So this marks kind of the quality in the person. People who never think about others. So in this situation, we're talking about an action we dislike. So this is different from this one. This one expresses a personality. This one expresses an action, or in this case, no action that we dislike. I don't like people who never think about others. Oops. Or I don't like people who never maybe clean up their house. Or I don't like people who never pay money back to me. So we can use this to talk about actions that we dislike. And again, we can make it positive by removing don't. So I like people who think about others, or I like people who pay me back, right? I like people who clean their house, yeah? So we can use this pattern to talk about actions, this pattern to talk about personalities. Okay, phew. Examples, let's see. Some people say on Facebook they're having trouble downloading the PDF ebook. They can't. So do you have an account? You need your name and an email address. Log in after you get that, then go back to the page. I hope that that one helps you. Maybe our team can check the chat and find some information there and contact those people. I hope that helps you, okay? Let me see your examples. Daro wrote, I like the way you talk to people. That's this example, nice one. Pia wrote, I don't like people who are selfish, but I like, people persons. Okay, I like people. I don't know how would we say that? I know what you mean. You like people who like people, right? That could be good. I don't like people who are selfish, but I like people who are good with people is a good way to say that. So people who are good with people means that they are good conversationalists. Okay, back to YouTube quickly, and then we'll finish up today. YouTube, oh my gosh, I think I missed some of your messages. I will try to read as many as I can now. Victor wrote, I don't like people who talk screaming. I don't like people who talk loudly. I don't like people who talk loudly. Or I don't like people who scream when they talk is another way to say that. Natalie wrote, I don't like people who spit around, maybe who sit around, or I don't like people who spit is okay. Just spit. It's gross, right? Ugh. Okay. Nahora wrote, I don't like people who are always laughing. Is that true? Oh my gosh, I'm surprised you like my live stream every week. I laugh a lot. So there's some kind of strange ones in here. I don't know. I don't like people who backbite. Kashaf, that might be a different translation. Do you mean, in English we had the expression backstab, which means to betray someone. So someone, you think you're good friends with someone, but then they do something bad, right, to you? We say backstab. Might be a translation point. It's maybe backbite in your language, but in English we say backstab. I don't like people who backstab. Others. Renee wrote, I do not like people who never look for maybe success, you want to say? To look for success, you need a noun there. To look for success. Maybe this is a grammar point I can cover in a future live stream, okay? The Black Eagle wrote, I don't like people who do scams. Agree. I also do not like people who do scams. Kaja, could you please differentiate really from literally? Maybe in another lesson. I think maybe I've talked, they're very, very different. I can't stop the whole live stream to do one question. I will consider it for the future, though. Luis, I don't like people who never do their own homework. Not make, so do and make. I have a video about the difference between do and make because those are commonly confused. You can search for that on YouTube. Oh my gosh, let's continue to the last part because I'm already late. I love to talk. So let's finish with some easy expressions and idioms. First is fond of noun phrase. Fond of is like a kind of old-fashioned way, a little old-fashioned way to say, I like this thing a little. So I'm fond of fruity drinks. I'm fond of fruity drinks. Notice, oh, that's an eraser. I'm fond, sorry everybody. I'm fond, oh no, I made a mistake. I'm fond of fruity drinks means I like fruity drinks. I like fruity drinks. So use I'm fond of as a set phrase. I'm fond of fruity drinks. I'm fond of dogs. I'm fond of the thing you like. Yeah? Let's look at the second one. Don't mind noun phrase. Don't mind noun phrase. This is a way to say noun phrase is not bad. Noun phrase is not bad. So I don't mind washing dishes. Like, it's not a problem for me to wash dishes. It's not bad. Washing dishes is not bad. I don't mind. Sounds like I don't hate washing dishes. So again, I don't mind plus our noun phrase. So washing dishes is like one activity. We can understand it like this. Okay, next one. Noun phrase is right up my alley. Noun phrase is right up my alley. This means this thing seems like something I enjoy, or it's very similar to something I like. We use this phrase a lot when we find something new that seems good for us. For example, this new restaurant is right up my alley. This new restaurant is right up my alley. Alley means a very small city street, like an old style city street that's very, very narrow. So the idea is that the alley is our little interest, something that's perfect for us. Yeah? So noun phrase is right up my alley. So we talk about going up and down streets in English. So right up my alley sounds like I want to go on that street. I want to go on that small street that's perfect for me. So that new restaurant is right up my alley. Okay, 2 more. Subject is not my cup of tea. Subject is not my cup of tea. We use this as a very soft way to say, I don't like that thing. For example, horror movies are not my cup of tea. Horror movies are not my cup of tea. So I don't like horror movies is what this means. Note, in this one, we need to be careful of our be verb. In the pattern here, I used is, but we need to make sure this be verb matches the subject. So in this case, horror movies are not my cup of tea. So my cup of tea sounds like my preference. That's the meaning, my cup of tea. And lastly, to each their own. To each their own. I want to finish here today. This is a set phrase. You do not need to add something to this. Easy, right? To each their own means everyone can like and dislike what they like. So you have your likes and dislikes, I have my likes and dislikes, and that's okay. To each their own. To each their own. That's a good idiom. We can use this sometimes at the end of a conversation, like sometimes at the end of a gossip conversation. Like, that person said, what? She did this? He did that? Oh my gosh. Well, to each their own. Like, everybody can like what they like, okay? Phew. I have to finish there. My gosh, we did it. Let me see some other things that came in the chat while I finish that. Kashaf wrote, I'm fond of citrus fruits. Great. Nahora wrote, I don't mind waiting for you. Good. Natalie wrote, I don't mind doing household chores. Good. Renee wrote, I don't mind learning every time with the best teacher, who is Alisha. Okay. You packed a lot into that sentence. I appreciate it. Maybe I don't mind learning English with Alisha is good, right? Like, it's not bad learning English with me, I hope. Okay. Luis wrote, American comedy is not my cup of tea. Okay. Loza, teacher, next time can you please write bigger for us? I have a present for you right now because it's the end of the lesson. Here is a QR code where you can see, get everything that I just wrote. Are you ready? It's appearing now. Come on board, you can do it. Okay, so if you want to get today's lesson, please scan this QR code to get today's lesson notes. Everything I just wrote on the board, you can have it. Isn't that amazing? Great. So I hope that that helps you, and I hope that that is a good reference point for you. Phew. Okay, let's finish today, but I'll be back next week. As always, next week's lesson topic, I forgot what it is, so let me check, but I'll be here next week, every week, same time, same channels. That is 10 p.m. New York Standard Time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it or set a notification on Facebook or on YouTube so you get a pop-up when we begin the live stream. Next week's topic, what did I choose? A classic. How to know when to use active voice and passive voice. The classic example is, the thief stole my bag, or my bag was stolen, right? How do we know when to use active and when to use passive? This is very important. Even native speakers aren't good at this. So let's practice this next week. Okay, I will finish there for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for your great questions and great examples. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for all of your amazing participation on Facebook and YouTube today. Don't forget to find the free PDF ebook at EnglishClass101.com. You can get that anytime, but check it out now, because if you start now, you learn faster, right? So check that out from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, above the video if you're watching on Facebook. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!
Recording. Streaming in 5.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alisha, and in this week's live stream, we're going to talk about how to know when to use active voice and passive voice. This is a super common beginner, intermediate, and advanced question. So today, I want to practice using these two types of sentences together, and we're going to look at how we change active to passive. We're also going to talk about when we should use these, because that's a big question lots of learners have. So as you join, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video, because it helps other people find the lesson, yeah? While we wait, a quick announcement about this banner at the bottom of the screen that says download your free 2,000 words ebook. The team has created a free PDF ebook that has the 2,000 core words of English. The core words of English are the most commonly used words in everyday English communication, so you can get this for free at EnglishClass101.com. You can download this from the link below the video, YouTube, or above the video, Facebook. Okay, so I'll come and check the chat, and then we'll start the lesson, because I always like to explain for a little too long. Hello, everybody in the YouTube chat. Hello, Natalie and Atharagma. I hope I said your name correctly. Lartig, I hope I said that right. Yanel from Guatemala. What's up? Facebook is loading. Hi, Facebook. I think Facebook is just turning on now. Excellent. So as you join, send a message in the chat. I will try to check live. And of course, send your example sentences in the chat live or just practice later if you're watching this after the live. Great. Facebook. Hello, Juan. What's up? I see Juan in the Facebook chat. Great. And back on YouTube, I see more people are joining now. Patrick, what's up? Moto, Lorena from Colombia, what's up? Funny from India, hello. Ong, hello, you waited for this live? That's awesome. I hope that you enjoy. Alexandre, Natalia from Colombia, Maximo, Felipe, hello everybody. If I missed you, I will come back again in just a moment. Let's begin today's lesson. When to use active, when to use passive. Let's begin our warm-up, maybe with the easy one, right? Active voice. When should we use active voice? I wrote in red the focus guides for making your decision, okay? We use active voice when the person or thing doing the action is the focus, okay? So, for example, I am teaching. I am the focus of the sentence, right? I am the person doing the action. So, I am the focus of the sentence. I'm the subject of the sentence, yeah? This is active voice. Second point, we know who did the action. So in the sentence, I am teaching, we know it's me, right? I am teaching. We know the teacher. We know the person acting. These are the two key guidelines for choosing active voice, okay? This is important because we are going to change these guides in passive voice. So let's begin by looking at a few examples of active voice sentences. You can send your active voice sentences in the chat. Go crazy. You can choose any active voice grammar you want, okay? That's fine. But we're going to change that sentence to passive voice in part 2, okay? So let's look at some examples. Let's break them down because these are all examples of active voice. First one is simple. He took my coffee. He took my coffee. In this sentence, we have he as the subject. Our verb is took, and the object here is my coffee. So this is a past tense active voice sentence. We know who did the action. He, the person, is the focus of this sentence. We have a past tense verb, took, and the object is my coffee. This is the thing affected by the verb, okay? Let's go to the second example then. The second example is, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Oh, Control S, can we maybe move the framing just a tiny bit? I made a mistake. In this sentence, we have the subject, I. So this is the person who did the action. Thank you. And then we have made here as the verb, I made. And what happened? What is the affected by the verb? A mistake. I made a mistake. This sentence is active voice because we know who did the action and we know the thing or doing the act, the person or thing doing the action is the focus, yeah? Okay, I'm coming to the examples in the chat now. Renee, Alicia cracked down on, you need an object in that sentence, yeah? Alicia cracked down on crime, whatever it is, okay? You needed an object for your sentence. Lartig wrote, she closed the gate. Great, very simple example. On Facebook, I don't see examples yet. Hello to Monk, what's up? Okay, keep sending your examples in the chat. I will come to check. Let's look at some longer examples of active voice sentences now. The first longer example is, they're going to fix the problem. They're going to fix the problem. Here, our subject, we have they are. They are. This is they are contracted, okay? They are. Here is our verb section. Oh, sorry. I put that bracket in a little bit the wrong spot. Oh, shoot. Okay, let me fix that. All right, so here's our verb section. They're going to fix. So all of this is our verb section. They are going to fix. That's a lot of information. We have all of this in the verb section because this is a future tense active voice sentence, okay? They are going to fix. So we have they are going to fix followed by the object, the problem. Yeah? So again, 3 parts in this active voice sentence again. Subject, future tense verb, object, okay? Perfect active tense, perfect simple sentence. Okay, next one. The construction company is building a bridge. The construction company is building a bridge. Again, here we have a longer subject. The construction company, right? The person or the organization or the company doing the action, the focus of the sentence, yeah? Then here's our verb, is building, is building. We have a progressive or continuous tense verb here. The construction company is building, object, a bridge, okay? So you can see all of these follow the same pattern, right? Subject, verb, object. Very simple sentences. Okay, let's see some examples. Oscar in the chat wrote, I did my chores. Nice one. Ong wrote, she made my heart broken. Ah, okay. Heartbroken is usually like an adjective. But we would say, she broke my heart. She broke my heart. Then it's perfect. Patrick, I ate a delicious rice and bean. Okay, rice and beans are uncountable. So we would say, I ate delicious rice and beans today. Then it's perfect. Renee wrote, she will make dinner. Good. Let's check Facebook. My car was driven. Oh, I mean, passive voice. You're part 2. Now we're practicing this one, active voice. So say, I drove my car. Yeah, I drove my car. Ali wrote, Emily ate a taco. Singular taco. Emily ate a taco today. Great job, Emily. I love that. Let's look at our last example in active voice then. That guy stole my phone. That guy stole my phone. So subject, that guy. Subject is that guy, plus we have the verb stole, past tense, followed by the object, my phone. Oh no. Okay, so as you can see, active voice can take a lot of different forms, okay? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here, but active voice can take a lot of different forms. So when you ask like, oh, is this active voice? Is this active voice? The key is that the person or the thing doing the action is the subject of the sentence. This is very important because it's different from passive voice, okay? This is our warm-up. So let's take a super quick break. I'll check the chat and then we'll go to part 2 where we do kind of the opposite of these sentences, okay? Let me see what you wrote. Natalie wrote, I dropped my wallet. Perfect example sentence. Lartigue, should we always have a subject? If you want to make an active voice sentence, yeah. Like if you remove this, took my coffee. It's like, well, that we don't know. We need a subject in this kind of sentence. We need to know who did the action, yeah? So make sure that you have a subject. If I say made a mistake, we can't do that. In some languages, I know, based on context, we can remove the subject, yeah? But in English, to make an active voice sentence, we must have a subject, okay? All right, phew. Very quickly, let me remind you then about, in our quick break, about this banner at the bottom of the screen, which says, download your free 2,000 words ebook. So the team has created a free PDF ebook that gives you the 2,000 core words of English. The core words of English are the 2,000 most commonly used words for everyday communication. So if you want to study the most important words first, download this ebook. It is totally free. If you have an EnglishClass101.com account, great. Just log in, come back to this page, and you can download this ebook. If you do not have an account, no problem. Just make a new free account. You need your name and an email address to do that, and then click the link, and then you can get this right here, right here. So check it out. This is great for building your vocabulary. Let's continue. I don't see any other examples, so let's go to part 2. If you have not, please, please, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video, yeah? It helps other people to find the lesson. Let's go to passive voice now. Okay, passive voice. This is the one that people get confused about, right? They go, when should I use passive voice? It's not clear to me. Why should I use passive voice? So let's talk about it, okay? We use passive voice when the person or thing affected by the action is the focus, okay? The person or thing affected by the action is the focus. So that means this, the object of the active voice sentence, this thing, like my coffee or a mistake, these are the focus points of the sentence in passive voice, okay? Like, let's look at the other two guides then. Second, when we may not know who did the action. Like, we don't know the person who did the action, or we want to hide the person who did the action. You might say, why do we want to hide the person who did the action? One, children like to use this grammar point when they did something wrong, when they did something bad, okay? Or bad people, when they did something bad and they want to hide it, or they want to try to get away from responsibility, they may use the passive voice. You will see passive voice in this sense in the news a lot. When you see a company scandal, oh my gosh, you will see a lot of passive voice sentences in company scandals in the news, because the leaders of the company or the person responsible in the company, they want to try to get away from responsibility. So this is it sounds strange, but this is a very common thing to see in the news, okay? So let's take a look at our passive voice sentence examples and notice these are all the same as in part 1. However, we changed to passive voice. We're going to practice changing to passive voice in part 3. So if you look at this and you go, what? Please wait for part 3 when we talk about an easy way to change active voice to passive voice, okay? Some of you are already sending your examples. Nice. I see Natalie wrote, the seat was taken. Nice. And Michaela wrote, my car is broken. You could say like, okay, let me come back to that. So let's look at our examples first. My coffee was taken. My coffee was taken. This is the passive voice form of he took my coffee. Okay, so notice here, our subject is my coffee. This becomes the focus of the sentence. Then we have was taken. This is our verb here. Notice there's nothing after the verb, right? There's no person or anything. We could say my coffee was taken by someone, but we don't need to. In passive voice like this, we don't need to say by someone, right? The idea with passive voice is we don't know who did the action, yeah? So my coffee was taken. Hate that. Okay, let's look at the next example. A mistake was made. A mistake was made. Here we have I made a mistake in passive voice. So our subject is a mistake. Same as the object here, yeah? Easy. Then we have our verb section. A mistake was made. Who made the mistake? It's not important, right? So you might see this at work, right? Your coworker made a mistake and they feel ashamed or embarrassed, right? They write in an email, a mistake was made. Oops. Who did it? Probably we know. It was the coworker. But they write, a mistake was made. It's like they want to get away from the responsibility, right? Okay, let's look at the longer examples then. The problem is going to be fixed. The problem is going to be fixed. This is this example sentence in passive voice, yeah? Which was, they're going to fix the problem. So we have the problem right here as our subject. Here is our verb section. Long, right? It seems long, but this is a future tense example, right? So is going to be. So we're going to talk about how to know what verb to use in part 3. So don't worry if you're not sure, okay? I'll check the chat really quickly because there's some good ones. Some people are sending examples that are in the active voice. Maybe you're watching part 1 right now. That's okay. Victor wrote, the project will be completed next week. Nice example. Good. Renee, the car has been driven. Okay, so you can remove by her, yeah? So if you don't know who drove the car, good. If you do know who drove the car, you can add by her. But if you want to hide or if you don't know who drove the car, you can use that sentence. On Facebook, Milton wrote, the AC in my car, not May, my car was repaired. Great, okay? Someone, I can't read your name, sorry, I can't read that language. Food was cooked. Okay, good. Food was cooked. By who? We don't know. Great. Good example. David asked a question, can I say my mistake was made? No, because in saying my mistake, that sounds like I did it. It's my mistake, right? Like grammatically, yes, but that's very kind of a strange thing to say, right? Say a mistake was made, yeah? So if you say my mistake, it's like my mistake was made clearly by me, right? It's a very strange thing to say. Like I do not recommend say that. It sounds like very strange. Let's see. What's next? Oh my gosh, Ali wrote, my food had been eaten. I'll come to verbs in part 3. My food had been eaten, or my food was eaten, maybe, before I came back. Good. Michaela wrote, the document will be delivered. Good. Oscar wrote, the local store was stolen from yesterday. That sentence means the local store, that means someone stole all, like the building, the store itself. Someone took the building with like a machine, a big machine, and took the store, the building, okay? The local store was stolen from yesterday, or the local store was robbed yesterday. To rob a store means to take money or to take goods from a store, okay? So maybe you want to say the local store was robbed yesterday, okay? Let's see. Some other people are writing examples. Great. We need to practice our verbs in part 3, so please make sure you stay for part 3. Let's look at our next 2 examples and then we will continue on. A bridge is being built. A bridge is being built. This is the passive voice of the construction company is building a bridge, right? Our active voice sentence becomes this. A bridge is being built here, okay? Who is building the bridge? We don't know, right? So when you're driving in your car or when you're walking on the road and you notice, oh, look at that, there's a new bridge. A bridge is being built. Who is building the bridge? I don't know. I don't know the company, right? But I want to say, oh, look, a bridge is being built there, right? This is a great way to use passive voice when you don't know who is doing the action, okay? Last one. My phone was stolen. My phone was stolen. Oh my gosh. That's the passive voice of that guy stole my phone, right? In this sentence, we have my phone as our subject and our verb was stolen, right? Who stole my phone? I don't know, right? Or who stole my phone? It could be anyone, right? I want to focus on my phone. That's the problem here, okay? So with this in mind, I will check the chat and then we'll go to the last part quickly. Oh my gosh, there's so many example sentences. Some people are sending just like sentences that use was. It's a bit different from passive, yeah? Your sentences are grammatically correct, but just because a sentence uses was does not mean that it is passive, okay? So we are trying to express an action or the effects of the action without explaining the person or the thing doing the action, okay? Some people, it seems, are writing like, sentence uses was, that means it's passive. So please stay for part 3, yeah? Most people, I think, need to have a refresher about this. Okay? Dennis, close. My time isn't being wasted here. Good. GMR wrote, the problem was solved. Good. Lartigue, the gate was closed. Closed. Martin, your sentence is correct, but it is not in passive voice. So many people. Let's have everybody, make sure you stay for part 3, okay? A lot of you are sending perfect sentences, great sentences, but they are not in passive voice. So let's practice, okay? Quickly, we don't need to see this whole thing, control this, but I'll just remind people, if you missed it before, there's a free PDF ebook for you. Go check it out. There's a great vocabulary resource there for free at EnglishClass101.com. Amazing. We love that, right? I'll remind you again later. Okay, let's go to part 3 because we need to practice. So part 3, how do we change an active sentence to a passive sentence? What even is this, right? What is this? So we practiced this pattern in part 1. we have our subject, we have our verb, and we have our object. Yes? The subject is the person who does the action. He took my coffee. In this sentence, he is the subject. Okay? My verb is took. And my object, the thing that receives the action, is my coffee. Yeah? He took my coffee. So, how do we change this into a passive sentence? To do this very easily, move the object of your active sentence into the subject position here. My coffee becomes the subject in the passive voice sentence, my coffee. Next, we have to use a verb, but we must change the verb in our passive sentence. This uses the verb be. We use the verb be, but we must change the tense of the verb. The tense of the verb must be the same as the original sentence. So we have to use be plus the tense of the verb here, right? My coffee was, so past tense be, taken, past participle verb form, okay? So we have my coffee, the be verb. This is our be verb right here, be verb. And then we finish with the past participle form of the verb. So yes, we have was in this example sentence. This follows the pattern we must use for a passive voice sentence. But not all sentences that use was are passive, okay? My coffee was taken is a passive sentence because we do not know who did the action, yeah? So some of you are writing just a simple past tense sentence that uses was. This is not necessarily a passive voice sentence, okay? Like, I was late. This uses was, right? This is an active voice sentence, okay? So we need to look at the grammar here to tell us whether the sentence is active or passive, okay? Some of you can try again and try making your active voice into a passive voice with this simple pattern, okay? Let me check for your examples now. Okay, GMR has a good one on YouTube. The transaction was verified. Excellent. Good one for online banking for sure. Are there sentences that cannot be changed from active to passive? Gosh, I mean, I don't see why. Like, I can't imagine a sentence that we could not change from active to passive. If you have a full sentence with a subject and you have a verb and you have an object, then there's no reason not to, yeah? So, I don't know, but I would imagine no. I don't know all the sentences possible in humankind, but okay. Ayman wrote, her bicycle was stolen. Nice example, okay? Michaela wrote, that's an active voice sentence. She damaged my refrigerator, followed by my refrigerator was damaged. Yeah, so close. Good job, Michaela. She, sorry, what was it? My refrigerator was damaged. Then you've got it, yeah? So we do this because your original verb, damaged, is past tense, yeah? So we must use the be verb in the same tense, yeah? So your verb damaged was past tense, yeah? So use the be verb in past tense also. Is that okay? So she damaged my refrigerator becomes my refrigerator was damaged. Then it's perfect, okay? Let me see some other passive voices. Natalie wrote, my flat was renovated last year. Nice one. Ahmed wrote, the shipment was delivered. Perfect. Victor has two. She will write a letter, followed by a letter will be written by her. Good. Or just a letter will be written is okay. All right? So that's a point we've seen a few times today. You can use my coffee was taken by him or a letter was written by her. These are correct. It's okay. However, as I talked about in part 2, often we don't know who did it, or it doesn't matter. It's not important who did it. Like a letter will be written is okay to use also. Yeah. Let's see. Nive wrote, Niv, sorry, I hope I said your name right, wrote, message wasn't sent. I maybe would say the message wasn't sent. It depends on the situation. Anyway, wasn't sent would be correct passive voice for this sentence. Okay, Ayman wrote, the bill was paid and the cake was eaten. What is going on over there? Great. Is that maybe a dessert at the end of a meal? Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's go to the final point and then we'll finish. This is a very common question I receive. I have received many times over the years on this channel. The question is, I heard we should not use passive voice in writing. Is that true? Many people have asked, I heard passive voice is bad. We shouldn't use it. No, passive voice is not bad. It is a tool, okay? So it's okay to use passive voice, but remember the guidelines. I know there are some languages and cultures that are less direct, right? You use a lot of passive voice where you don't talk about the person doing the action in the sentence. I know there are cultures and languages that do this a lot. That makes sense. However, in English sentences, we tend to focus a lot on the person doing the action, right? So we tend to use more active voice than passive voice. But that does not mean that passive voice is bad. Passive voice has a wonderful use. We talked about it here. When we don't know the person, when we want to focus on the object receiving the action. Passive voice is a great tool to explain things or when we don't know some information. Okay? Then, a reminder, if you use too much passive voice, we don't know who is doing the action. This is a really common thing. Sometimes you'll hear someone saying, like, my computer was repaired, but then the computer was having lots of problems, and they tell a long story about something, but use so much passive voice. Or maybe a good example is in like I talked about earlier, a company scandal. Like the customer was taken off the airplane, and the customer was told all of their options, blah, blah, blah. They give lots and lots of explanations, but they don't say who did the action. It becomes very confusing. If you use too much passive voice, we don't know who is doing the action. Like, it's really important to know at some point who did it, right? So if this is the reason sometimes writing guides and some teachers, I think, will say, don't use passive, don't use passive. It's because too much passive becomes confusing. We need to know a little bit about the person doing the action. So no, passive voice is not bad. Passive voice is a great tool. Okay, we have to finish there. Phew, that's it. So I hope that this lesson was helpful for you. I will put a QR code. If you want to take a screenshot, you can do your screenshot now. There's screenshot opportunity. If you would like to if you'd like to use your phone to get a QR code, I will put that on the screen now so that you, what? Oh, what did I do? I made it a PDF, is that bad? Oh, sorry. There's a QR code for you if you want to download the lesson. Oh, does it go as like as a different file format? I can change file format? Oh, okay. I'll do that from next week. Okay. So I hope that everyone enjoyed today's lesson about active voice and passive voice. It's a really good one to practice. I know it's a little confusing, but it's very important. Next week, I'll be back, same time, same channel. Let me see what I chose for next week's live lesson. I always forget. Next week, oh my gosh, July next week. Where is the year going? Next week, we're going to practice common phrasal verbs to use at work. I know phrasal verbs are a big challenge point for many people. So we're going to practice some that you can use in the office and maybe a little bit at school too. But we're going to practice those next week. So please join me for a good vocabulary lesson as well as a kind of work conversation lesson. I hope that's really helpful for people. So we'll finish there for today. Thank you as always for joining me. Don't forget, there is a free PDF ebook to find from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. You can get this to get the core words of English, the most commonly used words for everyday communication. So check it out. All right, so thanks again, everybody. Thank you for liking and sharing the video, and have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you again next time. Bye. Now that you're finished with this lesson, don't forget, as a free bonus, you get over 30 conversation cheat sheets, but only if you sign up via the link in the description. You'll learn how to have flowing conversations and how to answer the most common questions. You can also print out these colorful cheat sheets to keep as physical study material. So don't miss out on this free gift. Click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get your PDF cheat sheets.